Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's October 29th, 2014. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right here is Cody Bills. We had another very strong day for the grains in Chicago. Take a look at the iPad here and see where we closed out the day. Corn up 11 cents, soybeans up 33, Chicago wheat here up 7 1/4. Yesterday we talked about this on GrainTV. Technically not a very strong day, but once again today we had the grains marching higher. Obviously getting to the question a lot here in the office, Cody, what is the story behind this bean market in particular?
Well, I think one of the main drivers here of this bean market is soy meal, and we can see again trading up 22 cents here on the day, or excuse me, $22 a ton here on the day. We're getting up to levels that we touched on yesterday and then sold off from. Now we're closing at those levels. To me, what we're seeing in the soy meal market is some transportation issues. We're also seeing a situation that I think where end users of soy meal were looking to maybe price these their needs here on lower lows, and now we have a soy meal market that's just running away from them here, and they're having to chase it to lock in their needs. So not only do we have slower harvest pace, not only do we have farmers that aren't selling necessarily as much into the market, you have transportation problems, kind of creating a little bit of a perfect storm here for this rally in soy meal. Soybeans is following it higher here. The one thing to note is that in the cash market, some of the key facilities throughout the U.S. drop basis by a nickel to even a dime. So I think that some of this rally here is being taken advantage of by producers, potentially pricing some of those beans. I know in the office here, I did talk to a number of producers that were lifting some hedges and selling some grain here in the cash market.
Yeah, you know, Cody, it's kind of a similar story here for corn as well. We've seen exceptional strength out of the December contract. Take a look at the daily chart here. The big question now we've been getting a lot is kind of where is the top for this market here. Fundamentally, things still look like we could drift lower. The next area of key resistance should be around 379 or 380. That's where we had a small gap back in July that acted as resistance in the middle of August. So that's kind of the next benchmark, I guess, that I would look for to act as key resistance here if this trade continues to move higher. As you said, very similar to soybeans, in the corn market, there has not been a substantial fundamental change within this market. You know, continued to be some short covering possibly, but it seems like it picked up some velocity here today as people get the notion that maybe this thing could drift a little bit higher.
Absolutely. It definitely makes it a more difficult rally to explain here because there's no fundamental item that came out that the market reacted to. It seems as though what we saw is perhaps people were just too much on one side of the market. We're getting short covering here. That's kind of snowballing. Pretty much everyone from the beginning of August that got into short positions now is potentially in a losing position. That means their brokers most likely calling them up, saying, hey, it's time to either margin some money or liquidate the position. I think that's part of the reason why we're getting some of this liquidation. It's a lot harder to wire in money than to just liquidate and sell some of that cash grain.
We'll have to see what tomorrow brings. One thing that's going to be driving the trade early is the export sales report. Take a look here at expectations from the trade. You can see here relatively light wheat sales are expected between 300,000 and 375,000 metric tons. If you look down here at corn, 700 to 900,000 tons. And once again, a pretty large week expected for soybeans, 1 million to 1.5 million tons expected there. Keep in mind the last 2 weeks we have seen 2 million plus weeks for soybean sales. We'll have to see tomorrow if we get another strong day worth of reports. That report's going to be out at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. We'll be tweeting about that report when it comes out. Also, every morning we get in here and we digest the news from the overnight session and send it out to trading clients. So if you want to get that early morning bulletin, go to grainhedge.com, sign up for a demo. You'll be included on the list that gets that email each morning here from the office. Thanks a lot for joining us here on a Wednesday. We'll see you back here for the Export Sales Report.